Kungamsa, Nabalhenge. Welcome back to my daily Tuesday briefings. Without wasting any time, let's dive straight to the only daily Tibetan Parliament session highlight available in English. Chaired by Honorable Speaker Kimbustam Timpila, the fourth session of the 17th Tibetan Parliament in Exile's seventh session, that's a budget session, began at 9:30 this morning. The session continued with the deliberation and a clarification on Tibet Policy Institute under Chite Lihum from the previous sitting. The members of the House tabled our concerns and queries to Chite Kalu. With that, the recurring budget, special recurring budget, that's Mixe Katu, and the supplementary budget, Sugyo Katu, of the Tibet Policy Institute under Chite Lihung were sanctioned. As per the list of revised business, the session continued with the deliberation and approval of the recurring budget and the special recurring budget, Misekatwe, of the Bureau of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in New Delhi and Indo-Tibet Coordination Office, that's ITCO Office of New Delhi, which were all duly answered and clarified by Kalu Nunzutomala. The queries and concerns of the House on Bureau of His Holiness in New Delhi ranged from challenges that the Tibetans faced in regards to collection of IC and other services provided by the office. There were discussions on the need of new building for the office. There were discussions on the previous and the newly appointed representatives of the New Delhi-based bureau as well. Hereafter, the session continued upon the budget presentation, deliberation and sanction of the recurring budget, special recurring budget and the supplementary budget of the Office of Tibet, Washington, D.C. The deliberations on the Office of D.C. ranged from commenting the effort of the office in the passage of the Resolve Act of Tibet, HR 533, the importance of following up on the acts passed in the past in the United States on Tibet, on Sunday Tibetan language schools in the United States, yes, on need for setting up Office of Tibet in Canada. There were appreciation of the Lakar Tibetan community of Toronto and many matters in regards to North American Tibetan community and the office itself. Hereafter, the supplementary budget of the U.S. Tibetan Community Development Fund was sanctioned too. Then the session continued upon the budget presentation, deliberation and sanction of the recurring budget, special recurring budget and the supplementary budget of Tibet Bureau Geneva. The deliberation on the Geneva office consists of several parliamentarians vehemently rejecting the recent propaganda statement made by a Tibetan singer called Deche Shaktangse, I don't remember her name, at an event organized by a Congo in Geneva. So it was expected that she would of course speak in favor of China, but this time she gave a statement on the Chinese boarding schools, which were far away from truth, benefiting only the Chinese Communist Party. So it was a very shameful act as a Tibetan. So they were, apart from that, there were support for the work done by the Office of Geneva, the campaigns organized by them, Tibet advocacy campaigns organized by them, and there were discussions on other budget allocations. Then, as per the list of business, the session proceeded to budget presentation and sanction of the recurring budget and the special recurring budget of the Office of Tibet London, the Tibet House Trust of London, the Tibet Information Office of Canberra, Tibetan Cultural Centre Limited, Australia, the liaison office of His Holiness the Dalai Lama of Tokyo, and the Japan Tibet House Trust. The office of the Tibetan Refugee Welfare Office of Kathmandu, there were discussions on them, many discussions on them. Then the Tibetan Culture and Information Center of Moscow, Bureau de Tibet Brussels, Bureau de Tibet Paris, and the Office of Tibet Pretoria of South America, the Tibet Religious Foundation of His Holiness the Dalai Lama in Taipei, and finally the Tibet House of Brazil. So, Kale Nostomla and Sikkim Pembatsirla, the incumbent Pencho Kale issued their clarifications to queries and doubts raised on the undertaking and budget allocations of the offices of Tibet under Chidi Lekung. So yeah, this session continued with the presentation and deliberation of the 62 Tibetan Freedom Movement, that's Rande Tsokchung. There were discussions on the Election Commission, the Public Service Commission, the Office of Auditor General, the Audit General's branch in South India, the Audit General's branch in Nepal, and the Audit General branch in Digiling. So yeah, the session today adjourned at 6 p.m. until 9:30 tomorrow morning. So the next morning shall begin with the presentation and deliberation on the Department of Finance, that's Pejo Likung, and its various divisions like the budget division, the expenditure division, project division, and the welfare and fundraising divisions of the department. So yeah, this is it for today. I would recommend that you do try and watch the live Twitter. There were discussions yesterday that lately the live sessions have not been viewed much by the Tibetan community, because it is of course in Tibetan, so we don't assume that anybody else, perhaps apart from the obvious Chinese government who would be interested to see what we're discussing, would watch. So there were discussions that perhaps the fact that the Tibetan Parliament is going smoothly as it should be, the viewers, the Tibetan community, does not seem much interested in what's happening in our Parliament, whereas there are complaints when there is chaos and vibrant discussions in Twitter. Yet there'll be complaints about it. So all I could say is, do try and watch it. If you can't, at least give my Twitter highlights a check, so that you know what's happening. And from tomorrow we'll have Penjo Lekung, we'll have whole Department of Homes, Department of Health, and so many important departments coming up from tomorrow. So yes, I would recommend that you'd see what's happening and what are the new projects and the questions that the Tibetan parliamentarians would table to the Kasha. So yeah, this is it for today. Tarin daran samshe sani jayo. Just let.